I understand why you're looking for people to understand your depersonalization realization. I did it whenever I was suffering. We want somebody to validate our experience. This is part of co-regulation. But it's one thing to desire that, and it's another thing entirely to expect it. And I wouldn't have that expectation that people are going to understand what you're going through. I think most people that go through depersonalization realization never even know that that's what it's called. I can't tell you how many times that I've described depersonalization, feeling like your body is a separate entity, or derealization, everything feeling fake and dreamlike. And people were like, oh yeah. And these are like people in my personal life. They were like, yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, I went through that after a bad drug experience. Or I've had people say sometimes when I'm driving at night, I experience that, or sometimes right before bed, or during just a really stressful situation. But they didn't know that it was called depersonalization realization. So if you go up to people and are like, hey, I'm experiencing DPDR, or depersonalization realization, even if they've experienced it, they don't make that connection with those labels. But it's just going to create a lot more stress to add to the traumatic stress that is producing the depersonalization realization. That's why the symptoms are happening, is because your nervous system is completely overwhelmed. I walked around with generalized anxiety for many years before DPDR showed up. It actually was a bad marijuana experience. It was kind of like the catalyst, right? The straw that broke the camel's back. But my nervous system got overwhelmed. I felt trapped. I felt stuck. I felt like I couldn't escape. And whenever that happens, your brain has a procedure for that, which is the freeze response. And for some people, part of that freeze response is that your brain may choose to make you feel separated from your body, or separated from the material world, or both. And it's such a subjective, bizarre experience that unless you've been through it, you would never, ever, ever understand it. And it's just going to stress you out trying to get people to get it that don't have the capacity to understand it because they don't have enough experience. But then also, like I said, even if they have experienced it, they probably didn't ever know what it was actually called.